What is going on, guys? I'm back. It's winter, it's 2022, and I'm at my hometown explore, RAF Driffield. Quite an important place to me, since it's a place that really got me into exploring, photography, making vids. So yeah, it's about time I took you guys for a look around here. It's set to get redeveloped soon, so eventually this place will disappear forever, which is pretty sad for me. But let's shoot it while we can, eh? We've got some fascinating history from this place. World War I, World War II, and just throughout the 20th century, really. So I'm going to voice over some of that for you guys, and let's do this explore. I think you're going to enjoy it. Right now I'm outside the what used to be the pub. It's called the Drift Inn. Got high vis on, that's because I rode my bike here and I forgot to take it off, which I probably should take off really if I want to be incognito. Let's go check this pub out anyway. Here's the bar. Some sort of bar. It could be for food, it could be for drink. It's because it's quite, there's all the length of it. Some nice winter lighting. It's only probably about 1:30 in the afternoon, but you know the sun's already on its way down. This has always puzzled me. This sort of little, I don't know, look, the sin bin. It's like a little jail, innit? Little jail cell. Strange. This is like the canteen area. See, like the railings. Queuing to get your food. There's like a fridge here, but some idiots pushed it over. God, nearly falling over. Can you see there's an old Ginster's pasties, pies. There's an old sticker there. Wow, see what I mean about that lighting? Beautiful. Right, ooh, let's go upstairs. Wow. It's like an ice rink on them roofs, bloody hell. Don't fancy going on them today, no chance. It's not a bad place here to get on some roofs and chill out, but when they're like an ice rink, it ain't a good idea. That building there is out of bounds over that fence. That belongs to the cadet camp. This is a stairwell I like. God, floor feels a bit iffy. It's got a nice big window. Oh. Drill square. A stairwell. There's 3 stairwells in this building. Right, on to the next building. I like this car, it's pretty cool. Adds to the apocalyptic feeling, eh? Yeah, just a very historic, atmospheric place. I've always, when wandering and exploring up here, I wonder what life was like on this base. You know, throughout both wars, throughout the decades. It's always sad when it just ends up like this, forgotten. People lived out their lives here, and I mean, some people died here even in the war. Yeah, very important place. I think these places should be, at least some should be turned into museums. I'm sure some are, they are. But yeah, I'll be sad to see this place go. Very sad. So we'll go check out in this building. It's another one that has a bit of sort of a pub or a club vibe to it. Oh god, it looks damp as hell in here. Jesus, look at that. It's raining indoors. See, like a DJ booth. There's a stage there. There's some there was like Statue of Liberty and an American flag originally painted on there, but a lot of it's been graffitied over. And there's a lot of, I know during the war there was a lot of Americans stationed here. I'm not sure about in the army days, the later days of this place. Spooky like painting on there. I just heard voices close by. I think it's just maybe the hangars of the base are now businesses, so I think it's just people working. They won't bother me. Oh. Toilets men's toilets. Hey, chairs. Always looking for chairs in this place. I want to sit down. There used to be loads, but they've all disappeared. This is a roof we usually chill on, but it's way icy today. It's just dangerous. Bad idea. Hey up, is that what I think? It's an all after the apocalypse sticker. Fire escape. Go back down. Oh yeah, there's another room I need to show you guys. Like a little bar. I imagine it maybe be a little officer's bar. Here we go. Okay, here's our little bar, there's our fireplace. There was a pool, there was a pool table, but some idiots trashed it. Another fire escape. I'm not going to go down there yet because there's something else to show you downstairs. Here, preschool, toddlers. So yeah, I just thought that was, I like the rooms and that, what you can still tell what purpose is served. Just some little clue left behind. How big clue in that case. Whoa, we will hit this building. And I think go to the far end of the base and probably work our way back. Sound like a plan, eh? Let's do this. There's people I don't even know if they've seen me. It's just other explorers. Nothing to worry about. In July 1918, as Allied forces fought to push the German army back across the Western Front, a new RAF airfield christened Eastbourne opened southwest of Driffield's town centre. It was one of the first built by the newest arm of Britain's military, formed only months earlier in April 1918, and began as an assortment of wood and brick buildings. The base was first occupied by No. 21 training depot. But just as the airfield was getting off the ground, German resistance on the Western Front collapsed. Kaiser Wilhelm II abdicated and fled, and November the 11th armistice was signed. 3 RAF squadrons joined the base in March 1919 as a revolutionary upheaval and political crisis gripped. Germany and Britain stepped up military intervention against the newly formed Soviet Union. The signing of the Treaty of Versailles in June and Britain dialing down its involvement in the Russian Civil War meant Westminster wanted to scale its expanded military back. 3 squadrons at RAF Eastbourne were disbanded by early 1920 and the airfield was abandoned as politicians and the public hoped to enter a new era of peace. So I have climbed this tower behind me multiple times. Every time I climb it, I say it's the last time I'll climb it, because it's a rusty ladder. It's, when you get to the top, it's just pigeon shit hell. Literally kind of have to scramble across pigeon shit. It's not very pleasant. It's a good view, but you've got to weigh up if it's worth it. And the longer time goes on, the more dangerous it gets with the ladder rusting away. So I don't think it's going to be happening today, guys, unfortunately for you. People working. I think it's maybe like a grain store or something in there, would be my guess. Hey, we're in the boiler room. Check it out, guys. Just have a quick look in here. Birds' nests in the electric boxes. Just realised there's asbestos everywhere, I'm just standing on it. I'm getting out of here. I've just remembered the building we've got to go to. It's one of my favourites, but it's a bit of a spooky one with some ghostly goings on. So I'll go show you around. Here we go, this building. So spooky, because I once saw an unexplained shadow while I was in this room. See my own shadow, and I saw another shadow sort of run behind me down the corridor. There was my friend was in the room next door. The next room, I could hear him talking, he hadn't moved. There was no one else in this building. It was like middle of the night. So yeah, it really freaked me out. I've never forgot it. Yeah, I'd just love to shadow person, if you're here now, you can come talk to me in my camera. Come talk to this camera, it'll pick you up. Come show yourself. Come on. See my shadow there, run behind it. It was a similar sort of thing to that, seeing my shadow and then the shadow passed behind. So the people I saw before was one explorers. It's actually graffiti artists, which is pretty cool. There's always new graffiti popping up here, and that's some really amazing work. It's forever changing. So yeah, it's quite cool to finally see a couple of the guys behind it. I saw them, I thought, what are they doing? What have they got? And then I saw they had tins of paint and sort of like big bags, which they'll have all the spray cans and that in. So good work, fellas, keep it up. So if you want me to come back and climb one of the hangars and make a quick video of that, I need to start seeing some views and some likes, guys. You need to, I'd love to, well, 20 likes, come on, just 20 likes. That's not a lot to ask. Yeah, now climb to top of there. I'll climb up that tower. Yeah, let's have some likes in, guys, some shares, some comments. More, they need to sub as well. Check out this graffiti while we're at it. The rise of Benito Mussolini in Italy, the Great Depression, and Adolf Hitler's Nazis taking power in Germany meant the spectre of war hung over Europe by the 1930s. As a result, RAF and other military officials looked to rearm, and the abandoned base was chosen as part of a wider air expansion plan. Rebuilding works began in 1935, and the rechristened RAF Driffield opened in July the following year and was home to 2 bomber squadrons by 1938. Their crews began a training and exercise regime to prepare them for conflict, which finally came on September the 3rd, 1939, when the Second World War broke out. This is a cool little bit. See, at first I thought it was like maybe a little sports ground or something, but as a friend I think rightly pointed out, it's more likely to be a shooting range. You know, all these high walls and that, and I guess you would just sit here to wait your turn. Notice board here, maybe like scores can go in there as well. Yeah, it's a cool little bit, I like it. So I hope you guys are enjoying this explore, my hometown explore, the explore, the one that got me into all of this, RAF Driffield. I love the place, really do, it means quite a bit to me. This video is not going to get all shot today, there's so much to see. I mean, I've barely touched it today, but film what I can today until I'm out of batteries and daylight, and then I'll be back. We're going to keep filming this place. I'm going to offer you some of the amazing history to this place. Yeah, let's just see everything there is to see before it disappears forever. The history of these places is very important and it can't be forgotten. Right, let's get back to this. Right, we're making our way back around, back down the base another way. This is like, I always consider to be like just vehicle garages, engineering, you know. RAF Driffield in the fight against fascism. Crews from the bomber squadrons flying twin-engine Armstrong Whitworth Whitley bombers were first tasked with dropping propaganda leaflets over Europe. Their first mission on the second night of the war saw them drop leaflets over the French-German border, and 6 million were scattered over Warsaw in March 1940. Aircraft from RAF Driffield took part in a first deliberate bombing of Germany days later, targeting a seaplane base on an island off the country's coast. But despite Crew's early successes, German retaliation would soon follow. At around midday on Thursday, August 15, 1940, base personnel would have looked up and seen about 50 Luftwaffe Ju-88 bombers amassed in formation heading their way. The raid saw about 169 bombs dropped, killing 13 people including the first member of the Women's RAF to die in the war, while damaging all 5 of the airfield's hangars. Damage to the base knocked it out of action until early 1941, with bombers swapped for fighters to patrol the North Sea once repairs finished. By April, the bombers were back and the number of squadrons increased, including one from Canada, ready to begin Britain's bombing campaign of Germany. 6 Wellington bombers from 104 Squadron took off from RAF Driffield on May 9th, targeting Bremen. No planes were shot down, but only 4 reached their target, with the other 2 forced to turn back due to mechanical problems. You can see the ladder up there. I can climb up there one day, but as I say, I'm not doing any roofs today. But get me some likes, and yeah, we'll climb everything here if we can. This is the cadet camp, which is still in operation. So if anyone comes exploring here, don't attempt to get over there and explore it, because it's not abandoned and they will have your ass. I've had a guy with, just because that's the longest fence line, I've had a guy with a rifle come and confront me, like. So yeah, they don't mess about. They're alright people, but they're just trying to protect their own place from, you know, the bad eggs that come exploring and want to break into places and trash places and that. So yeah, you've been warned. Here's the Shadow Man building again, taking it from the front approach. It's quite, I feel it's an important building. It just, I don't know, there's something that stands out about this one compared to the others. The base was closed again in 1943 for a revamp and reopened in June 1944, complete with 3 new concrete runways, the remains of which are still visible today. Its reopening came just in time for RAF crews, now joined by the air crews from Australia, to take part in the Allied liberation of Europe. It's just like such a nice place just to walk around. It's an absolute haven for nature now. You can come here and be away from the world. That's why I've always liked it. You can come here, walk around for a bit, sit somewhere, watch a bit of wildlife, and you come home feeling better. Guaranteed. It's nature and bando therapy mixed into one. It works for me. It really does. I've not actually filmed for a long time. The last videos I imagine you've been seeing is my Scotland videos, which was filmed like June 21. So like you're seeing a 6-month-old of me. But yeah, there's going to be more to come this year. I'm going to do some mental stuff, travel further. Well, not always further, but just new places. See some new stuff, tick some off the bucket list and that. A total of 30 bombers from RAF Driffield joined a raid on a German garrison at Le Havre in September, and another the following day before it surrendered to Allied soldiers. Australian crews flew on their final mission of the war from the base in April 1945, bombing gun emplacements on the island of Wangarange. Halpenny wrote in his history that RAF Driffield became one of the most important bomber bases of the war. Welcome to my humble abode. So I'm inside one of the houses. This is actually one of the tidier houses. There's one or two that are tidy, and this is only the front room that's tidy in here. And a lot of the others are an absolute wreck. It's pretty dangerous to go upstairs. We'll have a quick look upstairs in here. And you'll see what I mean. Holes right down. Yeah. I think I've always thought about these houses, like just this nice green in the middle would have been lovely. Like do you know the army families that were living in here? Because well, I mean, these houses could be from its days as RAF, but I imagine them to be more army housing. But it would have been really nice for the families that lived here, and like this nice green for all the kids to play on, and you'd feel really safe, you know, like living on a base. I imagine anyway. But yeah, it's a shame about these houses, because this whole base really, it could have all been repurposed in the 90s when it closed, but it's just gone to it's been left to rack and ruin, and it's a hell of a shame really. But we'll see what happens when it gets redeveloped. I would love it if they could save most of the buildings and repurpose them, but it's doubtful. They'll tear them all down, I reckon. In a few years time there might be nothing left to show you that this place was what it was. An RAF base, an important one in the war, and an army base. People lived out their careers here, families lived, they enjoyed their lives. RAF Driffield as the Cold War hots up. The war's end saw Nazi Germany and fascist Italy defeated, but Europe would once again be divided as Britain's allies, the US and the USSR, turned on each other. Britain, along with much of Western Europe, joined with the Americans, and as the Cold War began, training programs for pilots at RAF Driffield got going earnest. Navigation exercises began in 1946 with crews flying for up to 6 hours, sometimes at night, down the east coast, across the English Channel and up to Scotland. RAF Driffield then found itself at the forefront of the jet age and became home of the world's first dedicated school for pilots of aircraft. British PAF news cameras captured footage of the pilots training at the Advanced Flying School, which they dubbed the world's fastest school. So now, before my battery runs out on this day, I'll just give you a quick run down the obstacle course. So we start here, or maybe this is the finishing point. So here's the obstacle course, the parkour course. And we go up this wall. I don't fancy that wood, it looks slippy as fucking hell. Yeah, see what I mean now? Balance along, jump that. These walls to climb over. Check it out, yeah? I mean, look at that one. It's ridiculous. It's like nearly 15 feet or something, about 12 foot maybe. Oh yeah, so we start with the bars. There's the bars to go. So it must have been like an easy, medium. Yeah, it looks like an easy, medium and hard. Cool. I wish it'd be cool if the grass went in and it was all concrete to have a go at it. Maybe some ropes up that highest wall. More graffiti from the lads. Training was moved to Lincolnshire in 1955 and RAF Driffield once again became home to fighter squadrons. In 1957, as fears of nuclear confrontation between NATO and the Eastern Bloc reached fever pitch, the British government announced 60 ballistic missiles would be deployed around the country. RAF Driffield became home to 3 more than 18 metre long American-made Douglas 4 missiles in November 1958, all with ranges that put Moscow in striking distance. The missiles were British-owned, but their nuclear warheads were controlled by the US, meaning an RAF officer would have had to sign for them if they were used. Panic over the prospect of nuclear confrontation and the apocalyptic destruction it could unleash climaxed in October 1962 with the onset of the Cuban Missile Crisis. The crisis brought the world to the brink of nuclear war, but efforts were made to ease tensions after it ended and RAF Driffield's missile system was decommissioned in 1963. Flights of naval plans continued at the base throughout the 1960s, but by the late 1970s, RAF Driffield's life as an airfield was all but over. The Army took over RAF Driffield in 1977 and renamed it Almain Barracks. The site was turned over to serve as an Army driving school before that was transferred to a new home in Leconfield and another former RAF airfield following its expansion. In 1992, the base returned to Air Force control and was renamed for the 4th and final time RAF Staxton Ward Driffield site. But it was short-lived, and in 1996, with the Cold War rapidly vanishing in the world's rearview mirror after the collapse of the USSR, it closed. The RAF decided to transfer operations to a base at Staxton Ward itself, and its ensign was lowered for the last time on June the 28th. The departure of the RAF did not mean, however, that military interest had ended. The MOD still owns a small part of the site which functions as a satellite of the Defence School of Transport training ground in Leconfield. Cadets aiming to be among the next generation of British soldiers also use the site for exercises. If the Council's plans for homes on the site go ahead, its future residents would live atop decades of military history, and their lives would form part of its next chapter.